Do 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 do. Do 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 do. Wow, really? Oh, okay, I need to see this. Bullshit. Let me tell you a story. 13 years ago, I sat down on the couch to play Super Smash Bros. Melee for the first time. I watched in awe at the amazing graphics, the incredible soundtrack. I was so excited to play as all of these characters, most of whom I had never seen before. Giant fiery turtle? Awesome! Ninja person? Awesome! A giant purple dragon? Awesome! Wait, he's not playable? Okay. I had an absolute blast with the game, but I was always confused about why this dragon wasn't playable. Fast forward a bit to Super Smash Bros. Brawl, and I immediately thought of that dragon. Man, I bet he's gonna be playable in this one. I didn't really get into speculation over the game that much, but I saw a few videos on the subject. People were talking about who they wanted in the game, and I saw the dragon, who I now knew to be named Ridley, pop up quite a lot. I saw a few people saying that Ridley was too big, but I didn't really pay much attention to them. So what, I thought? Make him a big character. That'd be awesome. I got the game, and sadly he wasn't a playable character, but he was a boss, twice. Fights that I thought were pretty cool, especially the Meta Ridley boss battle. I was pretty happy with the game. I got a lot of cool characters that I really wanted. I could live without playing as Ridley. Years later, the next Smash was announced. Having just played through the Prime Trilogy, I was so excited. This time I'd get Ridley. I went on the internet to take part in speculation. It seemed like a fun thing to do. What I found sickened me. I know that the internet is a pretty terrible place to be, but what is this? I'm seeing people throwing death threats at each other, insulting their families, intelligence, life goals, and more, over wanting and not wanting a character in a video game? Before I knew it, I started getting harassed too. I was dragged into an internet war, fighting for my dignity because apparently supporting Ridley meant I was a crying baby. Cancer of the internet community, a plague that people were determined to eradicate by any means necessary. This kept getting worse and worse. Over time I realized this was never going to end. It didn't and doesn't matter what happens to Ridley in Smash Bros. People are still going to rage about it. And I've had enough. I'm tired of seeing people getting tormented over something so childish. I'm making this video for 3 reasons. The first is to attempt to stop all this from continuing. The second is about what happened with Ridley. In case you didn't hear, Sakurai thinks Ridley isn't good for being playable in Smash Bros. And I have something to say about that. The third is basically to follow up on my previous video, which Sakurai made relevant 5 days after I posted it, for goodness sake. I can't even do a walk away from mic, slam the door cliche because my mic's attached to my face. Now then, all you peoples. Whether you do or do not support Ridley, I don't care. That doesn't matter. What I do care about is which of you have been taking part in the cyberbullying that's been going on for the past few years. I don't give a damn as to what your justifications are for your behavior. Doesn't change the fact that you're doing it. Stop it. It's disgusting behavior that is poisoning the Smash community. I may be sounding a bit harsh, but let me try and show you where I'm coming from. Put you in my shoes for a bit. Imagine going to work or school, or whatever applies to your life situation, and every once in a while, out of nowhere, someone would turn to you and say, "Your opinions are meaningless. You are a terrible person for wanting to succeed in your endeavors. Go home, give up, and never come back." Now imagine having to endure that for a few years. It makes you go a little nuts. And before you really fans get on your high horses, get down. You guys are no better. I have a friend who doesn't like Ridley. Yes, he doesn't like Ridley, and he's my friend. Peace is possible. Who goes through the exact same thing anytime he mentions anything even remotely negative or even neutral about Ridley. This is absolutely despicable behavior. But before you all get insulted, I'm talking about the minority of the people. The loud, obnoxious few that somehow pass themselves off to be the entire community in everyone's eyes. Most of you are pretty cool. Fine, upstanding peoples of the internet. But the sad thing is, the minority is slowly but surely becoming the majority. With most Smash Bros. Characters, arguments tend to focus around the, well, characters. Relevancy, importance to franchise, movesets, etc. But with Ridley, the arguments are almost all centered around one thing, his size. And it's something that people have a very singular opinion about. Either they think he can, or he cannot be your size. Not many people will change their mind about this. This leads to the same arguments being held over and over and over again. Over time, the arguments became less about Ridley and more about the people arguing about him. On one side, you have the delusional Ridley fags, whining brats who are grasping the concept about as likely as Goku making it in Smash Bros. Twice, as a Peach clone. On the other hand, you have the two bigots, thick-headed numbskulls who are too blind or naive to come up with anything even remotely substantial to an argument. Are either of these views true? Of course not. But it's how you were labeled, depending on which side you were on, and that's how people will treat you, causing most people to retaliate in kind, creating an endless cycle of insults and hate that really, really sucked. So now we know why the behavior exists. Is there any way to stop it? Actually, quite easily now. Sakurai recently came out and said his views on Ridley in Smash Bros. Turns out he doesn't want to make Ridley playable. Boom. Done. If you were against Ridley, congratulations! Give yourselves a round of applause! And leave it at that. At this point in time, Ridley fans have heard you say, "I told you so," nearly half a dozen times now. Your gloating is falling on deaf ears. Try to do something a little more productive with your time. If you supported Ridley, sorry, there really isn't much we can do. It's perfectly fine if you still want Ridley to be playable, but arguing really won't change anything at this point. Shouting at each other is completely pointless now. The facts are set, opinions aren't going to change, time is better spent doing better things. It's that simple. Now that that's been addressed, on to Sakurai's actual quote. Let me get this out of the way. I love Sakurai. He's one of my favorite game developers of all time, having created two of my favorite franchises of all time. This guy sacrifices his time and health to make some of the best games there are. While I don't agree with him, I respect his opinion on the Ridley matter, at least what I think his opinion of the matter is, as what he actually says on the matter is either hypocritical excuses or he hasn't played many Metroid games. I definitely know that Ridley's a much anticipated name for fans, but if we made Ridley as a fighter, it wouldn't be Ridley any longer. Okay, good so far. He doesn't think Ridley would fit as a fighter. Valid opinion. It'd have to be shrunk down, or its wings reduced in size, or be unable to fly around freely. Ugh. First off, this drives me nuts about how some people don't know this. Ridley is male, but that might just be a translation error. When it comes to shrinking Ridley, I'd actually love to see if Sakurai could make Ridley smash his first giant character. But okay, he doesn't want to resize Ridley, common complaint. However, reduced wing size is completely false. Ridley's had ridiculously tiny wings in some of his incarnations. This shouldn't be an issue. Being able to fly free? No. This is coming from the guy that made Kirby and Meta Knight. Providing accurate portrayals of characters is something I want to pay attention to. If I don't stick to that thought, then we'd have to lower the quality or break the balance of the game. Something that goes way off spec could break the entire game. This part is responsible for the opening of this video. Accurate portrayals of characters, huh? 3 things. First off, if this is why he won't resize Ridley, I'm not entirely sure he understands Ridley's character. Despite what people try to pass off, size has next to nothing to do with who Ridley is. Ridley is one of the smaller, if not the smallest, boss in almost every Metroid game you fight him. Ridley's character is not about being big. Ridley's character, in a word, is violence. He doesn't sit back and let minions do his dirty work, or monologue endlessly before a fight. He charges headfirst into battle, attacking the second he sees you. It's why I've always wanted Ridley in Smash. He's a Nintendo villain that's actually a villain. I really want to see how his violent tendencies will be characterized in Smash Bros. Okay, second. This is not an accurate portrayal of Ridley. Attacking him will cause him to fight on your side, and he will let you continue attacking him even if he is on your side. If you attacked Ridley, he'd probably single you out. And this is the opposite of an accurate portrayal of Meta Ridley. And third, would you like a list of how many characters have characteristics that aren't accurately portrayed in Smash Bros? Here's a list of a few. Bowser, Donkey Kong, and Diddy Kong use animalistic grunts instead of the actual voices they possess. Ganondorf is nowhere near stupid enough to fight hand-to-hand combat where he can shoot energy balls and has a sword wherever he keeps it. Samus' suit physically enhances her in every way. Losing it would be such a reduction in power that Samus would either be ridiculously overpowered or zero-shoot Samus near useless. Jigglypuff's Kirby-like float ability is completely made up for Smash Bros. Also rests as the exact opposite of what it should do. A huge portion of the cast has moves that are entirely made up for Smash Bros. Some have entire move sets made up entirely for Smash Bros. Kirby and Meta Knight should not have limited jumps. Rosalina will not sacrifice her children like this. Lucario's armor does not work in this way. Robin is classed as a tactician, and therefore should not be able to use Nosferatu. And this is only scratching the surface. I could make this video 20 minutes longer with things like this. I don't think Sakurai is telling the true reason as to why he thinks Ridley shouldn't be playable. The important parts in this interview, for me at least, are these. I think that he simply thinks Ridley would have taken an unnecessary amount of time and effort to make, and that wouldn't have been worth it. He says himself that he could make Ridley a fighter. He has a vision of what he would have to do to make that happen. But that convoluted hocus pocus wasn't worth it in his eyes. This even ties into his interview post-Brawl, where Sakurai said he could make Ridley, but would take their very best efforts to do so. Sakurai makes compromises with characters when he wants to. It's another part of the reason I want Ridley in Smash Bros. I'm dying to see what he would do with him. But he doesn't want to. And as long as he keeps that mindset, he won't. And that's that. Ridley will never be playable in an official Smash Bros. Game. Or will he? In case you guys didn't notice, I made a video before this detailing about what I thought Ridley's chances of being playable DLC were. Sakurai posted this interview 5 days afterward, making my video, my first ever YouTube video, completely pointless. Or is it? I still stand by the things that Sakurai didn't disprove. I still think Ridley is the best, most logical choice for the next Metroid newcomer, and that he has great reasons to be a character, and that reasons against him are opinion-based. Like I said before, I don't think Sakurai stopped himself from making Ridley playable due to it ruining his character. I just think he doesn't want to do it. Too big, too fast, nope, too hard is the current version of this argument. But the game is out now, and who knows? Maybe the next Metroid game will portray Ridley in a way that he can be more easily implemented in Smash Bros. He's got the time, maybe he'll revisit the idea in the future, after taking a long vacation that he really needs to take. Stop killing yourself to make my favorite games, it almost makes me feel bad playing them. I will say this, I still support Ridley 100% for being playable DLC in Smash Bros. 4. Do I think it will happen? Unless that exact scenario I described occurs, no, of course it won't. I still support it. Why? Because I still want it, duh. Ridley's my favorite Nintendo villain. I've wanted to play as him for over a decade. I'm dying of curiosity to see how Sakurai would implement Ridley as a playable character. You can rage at me all you want for this, tell me how wrong I am, but I already know how wrong I am. This is based on my personal desires. And with all due respect, I do not care if you have a problem with it. Thanks for watching my video. If you liked it, please leave a comment, like, and subscribe for future content. If you didn't like it, that's okay too. Please leave a comment, dislike, and subscribe to dislike all my future videos as well. I made my first video for a movement that a bunch of Ridley fans on Smash Bros. Were starting, called the Ridley Revolution, to get Ridley into Smash 4 DLC, Smash 5, 6? I don't know, Project M, or all of the above. I still want Ridley playable in the game, so I support it. If you like Ridley, have wanted him in for a while, or are just curious like me to see how Sakurai would make him, go and show your support. I'll leave links to all that below. Remember guys, we're all still humans on the internet. See? Human. Got a face. I'm pretty sure you guys do too. So before you start throwing firebombs at each other, just remember what you're getting so worked up about. A fictional character's inclusion in a spin-off game. So don't act like children in the comments. If you see someone like that, ignore them. That's pretty much the only way these flame wars will die down. Choosing to stop the anger, and ignoring those that choose not to. Thanks for watching. Bye!